My beloved child, do not scroll past this moment. I am not speaking to the world today. I am speaking directly to you. You assume that heaven has fallen silent and doors are permanently closed. You think your prayers have vanished into the void. But what you call silence is not my absence. It is the crucible of my divine preparation. I am quieting the noise of the world around you so that you can finally hear the whisper of your true destiny. Stay with me. I am about to hand you the keys to a door you thought was locked forever. I see the weariness you carry every single day, the exhaustion of trying to hold everything together while smiling through the cracks. You wake up feeling heavy. You push through the morning. You give your energy to everyone else. And every night when you finally close your eyes, the silent weight of unfulfilled promises presses down on your chest. You wonder if you have been forgotten by heaven. You ask why you must work twice as hard just to survive. I have seen every tear you hid in the darkness. You have become the silent endurer for your family. You are the one who listens. You are the one who fixes. You are the one who absorbs the pain of others so they do not have to feel it. But who holds you when you are breaking? Who listens when your soul is screaming for relief? You think no one notices the immense sacrifice you make daily. But I tell you now that heaven keeps a meticulous record of every burden you have carried. Your silent endurance has not been ignored. It has been building a foundation for a massive shift. You look at the closed doors in your life and feel a deep sense of rejection. You see opportunities slip away at the very last moment. You watch others walk effortlessly into their blessings while you remain trapped in the waiting room. You call this a painful delay, but I call it my deepest work of divine protection. I did not close those doors to keep you out of your blessing. I slammed them shut for a reason. I slammed them shut to protect you from traps disguised as opportunities. If I had given you what you asked for back then, the weight of it would have crushed you. Pause right here in this moment. Do not let your mind wander back to the anxieties of tomorrow. Listen to me now, not with the logic of the world. Listen with the spiritual ears I have opened within you. There is a specific door standing in front of you right now. You know exactly which door I am talking about, but you are afraid to reach for the handle. You are terrified of hoping again only to be disappointed. You are scared that stepping forward will only lead to another devastating failure. Your fear is loud, but my promise is eternal. What lies behind that locked door is a truth so profound it will shatter your understanding of loss. You have been waiting for the storm to pass before you take a step, but I am commanding you to step directly into the waters while the storm is still raging. You want a guarantee of safety. I am offering you a covenant of absolute authority. The enemy desperately wants you to stay frozen in hesitation. The forces of darkness know that the moment you turn that handle, a generational chain will snap in two. They are terrified of your awakening. You have been waiting for so long that waiting has become your entire identity. You have forgotten how it feels to simply receive. You brace yourself for bad news, even when the sun is shining. The trauma of past disappointments has trained your brain to expect the absolute worst. But my beloved child, that trauma is not your destiny. The season of hidden preparation is coming to a close. The roots you have grown in the dark are now strong enough to support the massive harvest I am bringing. You are no longer just surviving. Take a deep breath and let your shoulders drop. Release the tension you have been holding in your jaw. You do not have to fight this invisible battle alone anymore. I am stepping into the chaos of your mind today to speak a peace that surpasses all human understanding. The enemy wants you to believe that this cycle of struggle is your permanent reality. They want you to accept defeat just steps away from your ultimate breakthrough. But the courtroom of heaven is already shifting the verdict. I am changing the atmosphere around you. Do not look away from this message. What is taking place right now is not a random collision of algorithms. It is a divine interception ordained before the foundations of the earth were laid. I am separating you from the noise to reveal a profound mystery about your mind. There is a quiet thief stealing your mental clarity, and physical energy. And it is not just a spiritual attack. It is something woven into the very fabric of the modern world you live in. Listen closely, because what I am about to unveil will change everything you thought you knew. Come closer. Let your heavy armor fall to the ground. You do not need to be strong in this space. You do not need to pretend that everything is perfectly fine. I know the truth about how deeply you are hurting, and I want you to know that you are completely safe right here. Let the mask fall from your tired face. Stop bracing yourself for the next terrible thing to happen. I have watched you in your most private moments. I saw you crying in your car before walking into the house. I watched you let the shower wash away your silent tears so nobody would ask you what was wrong. You held your breath. You swallowed your pain. You hid the deep ache in your chest because you did not want to become a burden to the people you love. You are always the strong one for everybody else. You give them your time. You give them your energy. But when your own heart is breaking into pieces, you look around and find an empty room because everyone assumes you can handle everything alone. You constantly heal their deep wounds while your own soul is quietly bleeding out in the dark. It is profoundly unfair, and I validate that pain today. You are not crazy for feeling completely exhausted by this life. You are not weak for wanting to just give up sometimes. The massive weight you have been carrying would have crushed anyone else a long time ago, but you kept walking forward with quiet dignity, and you kept showing up for others, even when your own spirit was entirely empty inside. Let me speak to the bitter betrayal you suffered. You trusted people who only wanted to use your pure light. You poured your unconditional love into relationships that only drained your spirit dry. They took your quiet goodness for granted, and when they finally walked away, they left you feeling hollow, used, and utterly broken on the floor. You wondered where I was during those agonizing moments. You thought I had completely abandoned you to the wolves, but I was right there beside you in the fire. I was the invisible force keeping your fragile heart from stopping entirely. I caught every single tear you cried in the middle of the lonely night, and I wrapped my healing presence around your shaking body. Pause, right here, in this sacred moment. I want to remove a heavy, toxic lie from your tired shoulders. You carry the intense guilt of feeling like you are never doing enough. You constantly blame yourself when things go wrong for other people. You obsess over every small mistake you make, and you punish yourself mercilessly for simply being a vulnerable human trying to survive. Hear my gentle voice right now. It was never your job to save the entire world. It is not your responsibility to fix every broken person who crosses your path. You are allowed to set firm, healthy boundaries, and you are allowed to say no without feeling a crushing sense of shame. Your only true responsibility is to protect the precious light I placed inside you. I know you are so incredibly tired today, and it is not the kind of tired that a few hours of sleep can easily fix. It is a deep spiritual exhaustion that settles right into your very bones. You are tired of always being the bigger person. You are tired of waiting for a breakthrough that always seems to vanish into thin air right before you reach out and grab it. But I see the beautiful seeds you have faithfully planted in the dark. I see the quiet acts of kindness you perform when absolutely nobody is looking, and I see how you choose to be gentle in a world that has been relentlessly cruel to you. You are a rare, beautiful soul. You are a pillar of light in a generation that is stumbling blindly through the deep darkness. Do not think your silent faithfulness has been foolishly wasted. Every time you chose love over bitter revenge, heaven recorded it. And every time you helped a stranger while you were secretly hurting, a new blessing was added to your account. You have accumulated a massive spiritual inheritance over the years, and the time to finally claim it is rapidly approaching. But before you can receive this massive harvest, you must stop fighting, and you must surrender the overwhelming need to control every single outcome. Let go of the heavy steering wheel. You have been driving through a terrible storm for so long that your hands are completely numb and bleeding. Move over to the passenger seat and let me take full control of this journey. You are so very safe in this quiet space. Nobody is asking you for anything right now, and nobody expects you to perform or produce or entertain them. You can just sit here and take a deep breath. Let the healing waters of my love wash over your battered spirit. I am carefully stitching up the invisible wounds that the harsh world inflicted upon your gentle heart. Feel the heavy tension leaving your neck and your shoulders. Allow yourself to be fiercely loved without having to constantly earn it, because you do not have to prove your worth to me or to anyone else. You were entirely worthy the very moment I breathed life into your lungs. Rest your weary head against my chest, and know that the hardest part of your lonely journey is already over. Now we must look closely at the heavy blockage in your life, because you look at your empty hands and you see only miserable failure. You think you are doing something terribly wrong, but open your spiritual eyes today. Your lack of progress is not a cruel punishment for your past mistakes. It is actually a sign of a massive spiritual collision happening right over your head. The enemy does not attack empty vessels. Thieves do not break into houses that have absolutely nothing of value hidden inside. The intense resistance you are facing is direct proof of the massive treasure you currently carry. You are a gatekeeper assigned to break a generational curse, and the darkness is completely terrified of what happens when you finally wake up. You call that sudden silence from heaven a painful rejection, but I call it my deepest work of divine preparation. You are feeling extremely uncomfortable because you are outgrowing the small space the world assigned to you. The intense pressure you feel is not the weight of failure crushing your spirit. It is the heavy pressure of a massive diamond being formed in the dark. Pause right here and listen closely. Look at how your mind has been feeling lately. You suffer from severe brain fog and endless overthinking. You cannot focus on your prayers. You try to imagine a better reality, but your thoughts constantly spiral into deep anxiety before you can even begin. You assume this is just a normal part of getting older. It is not normal. It is a deliberate suppression of your spiritual design. Heaven designed your physical body to work in perfect harmony with your eternal spirit. But the enemy is incredibly subtle. They do not always attack with loud storms or sudden tragedies. Sometimes they attack by slowly turning down the volume of your divine intuition until you can barely hear my voice. Here is what the world never told you. The reason the universe responds to certain people and not others is not about having more faith. It is not about perfect discipline or endless good deeds. It is actually connected to a specific frequency that exists inside your physical mind. Scientists have a name for this beautiful frequency. They call it the gamma brainwave. This is the exact frequency your brain was running effortlessly when you were a young child. Think back to those early days. Remember when new ideas came to you so easily. Learning felt completely effortless and natural. You somehow knew things before they even happened. The entire world felt like it was completely on your side, and you trusted that unseen guidance without questioning it. You used to look at the world and see infinite possibilities. You did not have to force anything to happen. You were naturally aligned with the living current of my grace. The right people simply appeared in your life at the exact right moment. You possessed a quiet confidence that could not be shaken by the opinions of ordinary people. Then adulthood violently arrived, and the modern world went to work on your precious mind. The endless stress and the glowing screens began to aggressively alter you. The relentless rhythm of survival mode trained your brain to constantly scan for danger instead of looking for opportunities. The rigid school systems taught you how to quietly conform instead of how to freely create. Every single year, this sacred frequency was pushed further away. It was buried deeper and deeper below the chaotic surface of your tired mind, until the version of you with lightning intuition finally went to sleep. The version of you that possessed a brilliant memory and spiritual clarity went completely silent. You lost the most powerful tool heaven ever gave you. When that frequency fades, your divine genius fades right along with it. Your spiritual intuition becomes dull and confusing. Those beautiful synchronicities that used to guide your path completely stop happening. The reassuring sense that heaven is working with you vanishes into thin air. You are left trying to build your life using sheer human willpower alone. Willpower is exhausting. Willpower is exactly why you feel so drained at the end of every single day. You are trying to break through a spiritual barrier using only physical force. But the gap between you and the people who seem effortlessly blessed is not a lack of hard work. It is simply a suppressed frequency that you desperately need to reclaim. You struggle and you push yourself to the absolute limit because the world told you that is the only way to succeed. But the kingdom of heaven does not operate on frantic exhaustion. It operates on divine alignment. When your mind is trapped in the frequency of fear and survival, you block the very abundance you are desperately praying for. You must step out of that chaotic noise. Your brain was forced to abandon the very state that allows miracles to flow freely into your life. Most people will live their entire lives without ever knowing this happened to them. They will accept the struggle and the exhaustion as their permanent reality. They will settle for a life of quiet desperation and endless toil, never realizing they have the power to change it. But you are not most people. You are a cycle breaker. You were chosen to reclaim what was stolen from your bloodline. Heaven will not let you remain in this suppressed state any longer. We are going to bring that frequency back. But first, you must understand how your ancestors fought this invisible war. The world will always demand physical proof before it decides to believe. Human logic says you must see the open door before you take a step. But the kingdom of heaven operates on a completely reversed principle. You must step forward in blind faith before the physical evidence ever appears in your life. Because this is the eternal law of the chosen ones. Think of Joseph for a moment. He was given a massive vision by heaven. He saw a future where he was a great leader. But the very next chapter of his life looked like a complete nightmare. He was violently betrayed by his own brothers, and he was thrown into a dark pit before being sold to absolute strangers. His reality completely contradicted his divine promise. He did everything right in the house of his master. He worked with incredible integrity and pure intentions. Yet he was falsely accused and thrown into a cold prison. He interpreted dreams for others and helped them escape, but they quickly forgot him the moment they found their own freedom. He was left alone in the dark to rot in silence. And perhaps you feel exactly as he did today. You feel completely unseen and entirely passed over by life. You are doing the heavy work with absolutely no recognition from anyone. You watch the people you helped move forward while you remain stuck in the exact same place. And you wonder if heaven made a terrible mistake when it gave you that dream. But what Joseph did not know then is what you must understand right now. If seen with natural eyes, every foundation of his life had collapsed. But in absolute truth, it was not a collapse at all. It was hidden construction. The dark room was not a forgotten grave for his destiny, but rather a secure vault designed to build his inner spiritual capacity. Joseph could not see the golden throne from the bottom of his prison cell. He had no physical proof that his situation would ever change. He had to trust the vision blindly while sitting in the dirt. Faith is walking confidently in the dark when you have no idea where your foot will land, and it is holding on to the promise when the pain is unbearable. The chosen ones are always required to pass this exact same test. The universe intentionally hides them in the shadows to protect them. The painful delay is actually a divine shield against premature exposure. If Joseph had been promoted too early, his character would have crumbled under the weight of his power. The waiting was his ultimate preparation. You must stop looking at your current circumstances as the final chapter of your book. They are merely the difficult middle of a triumphant story. The physical evidence of your life is constantly lying to you right now because your bank account does not reflect your true spiritual inheritance. Your current struggles do not define your final destination. You must believe the word of heaven before the physical reality shifts. This is the sacred, energetic exchange of the kingdom. You give heaven your blind trust, and heaven gives you the miraculous breakthrough. But if you wait for the money to appear before you believe, you will wait forever. Faith is the powerful currency that buys your freedom. Pause right here in this quiet moment. Do not let your mind drift back to the endless anxieties of tomorrow. Understand that your current prison is actually a palace in disguise. You are not being punished by an angry creator. You are being meticulously trained for a level of authority that requires immense spiritual strength. Joseph sat in that terrible darkness for many long years. He could have easily surrendered to bitter resentment and blinding anger. He could have cursed heaven for abandoning him in his darkest hour. But what happens when the anointing finally finds you in the absolute darkness? What happens when the Spirit of heaven visits the forgotten prison cell? His mind had to stay perfectly aligned with the frequency of his faith. He could not afford to let bitterness poison his spirit. Bitterness destroys the delicate frequency of heaven faster than anything else. If he had become bitter, he would have missed his divine appointment, because he had to maintain a posture of quiet expectation despite his agony. Your ultimate test today is exactly the same as his was. Will you hold the frequency of faith when your natural eyes see absolutely nothing? Will you continue to trust the process when the pain is loud and the progress is silent? This is the moment where true gatekeepers are separated from the rest of the world, and you must choose your perspective very carefully. As it is written, faith is the substance of things hoped for, and it is the undeniable evidence of things that remain entirely unseen by human eyes. You must anchor your soul to this ancient truth right now. Do not let the temporary illusion of failure rob you of your eternal victory. The story of Joseph did not end in the prison, and I promise you that your story will not end in this current struggle. But you must wake up and look closely at the battlefield today. What is taking place behind your name is not as simple as you have imagined. The intense struggle you face is not just bad luck. It is a highly coordinated and deliberate spiritual attack. The forces of darkness are desperately trying to steal your massive blessing right before the finish line. They do not attack you with loud storms or obvious disasters anymore. They know you are far too strong to be defeated by a visible enemy, so they attack you with a slow and draining weariness. They plant tiny seeds of heavy doubt in your tired mind. They want to make you believe that heaven has permanently turned its back on your urgent prayers. Look at how easily you get distracted right when you need to focus. Look at the sudden exhaustion that hits you when you decide to pray. This is definitely not a normal kind of physical tiredness. It is the heavy blanket of a dark, spiritual slumber. The enemy is actively trying to lull your spirit to sleep so they can quietly rob your inheritance in the dark. You are standing just inches away from the greatest breakthrough of your life. And that is exactly why the resistance has become so incredibly violent lately. The enemy always attacks the hardest when you are closest to your victory. They want you to drop your sword and surrender just one day before the massive harvest finally arrives. You have felt this dark presence hovering over your family for years. You have watched it quietly steal opportunities from your struggling parents. You have seen it sabotage the finances of your grandparents. It is a familiar spirit that thrives on generational lack and endless struggle. And now it has turned its desperate attention entirely onto your life. But they made a catastrophic mistake when they decided to target you, because you are not like the others who simply accepted defeat. You are the cycle breaker chosen by heaven to end this nonsense. You were specifically equipped to identify this invisible thief, and you possess the exact spiritual authority required to completely destroy its power over your family. Pause right here in this very crucial and sacred moment. I deeply need your absolute and undivided focus right now. Do not let your mind wander back to your daily tasks. Listen to the urgent warning I am giving you today. The familiar spirit of procrastination is trying to steal your future. It whispers that you can just wait for a better day to take action. It constantly whispers terrible lies to your soul. Waiting for the perfect moment is a deadly trap disguised as wisdom. There will never be a completely peaceful day to start your new journey. The wind will always blow, and the chaos will always try to distract you. You must make your bold move while the storm is still violently raging. You must break the chains of delay right now before it is too late. Every single time you delay your obedience, you surrender ground to the darkness. Every time you hesitate out of fear, you give the enemy permission to stay in your house. I am calling you to evict this heavy spirit of delay immediately. You must rise up as the fierce gatekeeper of your own beautiful mind. You must guard your sacred territory with everything you have inside you. They know exactly how to manipulate your physical energy every single day. They use the chaotic noise of this modern world to scramble your spiritual frequency. When your mind is flooded with endless anxiety, you cannot hear the clear instructions of heaven. The enemy weaponizes your own physical exhaustion to keep you trapped in a low vibration of pure survival. If you ever find your true focus, the enemy is completely doomed. If you ever reactivate the divine clarity you had as a child, you will become utterly unstoppable. That is why they fight so hard to keep you distracted and drained. They are terrified of what you will accomplish when your mind is finally restored to its original peaceful state. You have fought this invisible war with human strength for far too long. You have tried to outsmart the darkness using logic and sheer willpower, but you cannot fight a spiritual battle using only physical weapons. You need a higher strategy to reclaim your stolen peace. You need to completely reset the very atmosphere inside your tired brain. Heaven has not left you defenseless in this brutal war. I have provided profound tools to help you break this demonic cycle of exhaustion. You do not have to live your entire life feeling like a helpless victim. I am about to expose the hidden path to your complete restoration. You must pay close attention to the signs I am sending you. The spiritual clock is striking a very important hour right now. The season of being blindly robbed by unseen forces is officially over. Heaven is opening the courtroom to hear your specific case today. We are going to demand a full return of everything that was stolen from your bloodline. The enemy will no longer have access to your glorious future. The heavy atmosphere around you is finally beginning to clear. You have survived the invisible war that tried to completely destroy your mind, and now you must prepare your heart for a massive shift. The long season of simply enduring the brutal attacks of the enemy is officially coming to an end. Heaven is about to move aggressively on your behalf. But before I issue the final decree over your life today, we must address the severe damage done to your physical temple. Your mind was originally created to be a beautiful sanctuary of absolute peace. It was never meant to be a chaotic battlefield where you fight for basic survival every single day. The exhaustion you feel is the result of a broken frequency. Pause right here and listen to me with profound clarity. I have given you tremendous spiritual promises to hold on to in the dark, but I did not leave you to fight this earthly battle without any physical weapons. True restoration requires your physical brain to completely realign with your eternal spirit. You need a bridge to cross the great divide. For many years, the elite of this world have quietly understood a profound secret about the human mind. They knew that the brain could be guided back to its highest state using specific earthly methods. They spent thousands of dollars in private clinics to access the very peace that heaven intended for everyone. They desperately wanted to keep this absolute power hidden from you, but heaven will never allow the chosen ones to remain in the dark. Before we go any further, I have to tell you something incredibly important, something the people who profit from your exhaustion do not want you to know. Brilliant researchers, working quietly away from the loud headlines, have finally discovered how to bring your dormant brainwave back. They did not achieve this through years of impossible meditation that most struggling people simply cannot sustain. And they did not use extremely expensive machines that require a sterile clinical setting. They discovered something far simpler and far more aligned with how you were originally designed to work. Science has finally uncovered what I designed from the beginning. It is a highly specific sound frequency engineered to guide your chaotic brainwave patterns back to perfect peace. They call it acoustic brain entrainment. It uses the natural power of sound to effortlessly reactivate the genius state you were naturally born with. The great universities of the world have heavily studied this exact phenomenon. They discovered that when this specific brainwave is fully reactivated, it does not just stop with you. A strong frequency actually radiates outward from your physical body. It begins to positively influence the chaotic energy of the people standing closest to you. It calms your anxious children and brings a quiet peace to your struggling partner. This is the divine mechanism I provided to help you become the ultimate cycle breaker for your bloodline. You do not have to struggle to clear your mind anymore. You do not have to force yourself to constantly think positive thoughts when you are completely exhausted. You simply allow the sound wave to do what the modern world spent decades undoing. 7 minutes a day. That is absolutely all it takes to begin restoring the brilliant clarity that was stolen from your childhood. And the most beautiful part is that it begins working the very first time you close your eyes and listen. You do not need tremendous willpower to receive this specific blessing. You only need a willing heart and a quiet room. I will tell you exactly what this divine tool is called before this message completely ends. I will show you exactly how to access this frequency so you can guard your mind forever. But first, there is a final spiritual transaction that must take place. We must completely sever the legal rights of the enemy before you can step into this new dimension. The physical tool will restore your earthly mind, but heaven must first restore your eternal inheritance. You have waited in the dark waiting room for far too many years. The heavy doors of the highest courtroom are swinging wide open for you today. Straighten your tired posture and lift your heavy head. The judge of all creation is taking his seat. Do not shrink back in fear when you hear your name called in the courts of heaven. You are not stepping forward as a guilty prisoner begging for mercy. You are stepping forward as the chosen heir, demanding absolute justice for your family. The season of silent endurance is over. The season of divine vindication has officially arrived for you today. The highest courtroom of heaven is officially open over your life right now. The judge of all creation has taken his seat. I am opening the ancient books that contain your family history. The long season of silent suffering is permanently over. I am stepping forward today to issue a powerful divine decree, and it cannot be reversed by any earthly power or dark entity. Those who took advantage of your pure heart are now commanded to step back. The broken systems that constantly drained your finances are being dismantled. The unseen forces that desperately tried to steal your inheritance are terrified. They know they have completely lost their legal right to torment your beautiful mind today, because the supreme authority of heaven has officially ruled in your absolute favor. Take off the heavy garments of survival you have worn for so long. You are no longer an abandoned battlefield for the enemy to destroy. You are a fiercely guarded fortress of eternal light. Today I place upon your tired shoulders the powerful mantle of a cycle breaker. The brutal chains of lack and brokenness stop right here with you, and they will never be allowed to touch the lives of your children again. I mandate a double portion of massive restoration over your life. Everything that was unjustly taken from you will be returned in the open. The doors you thought were permanently sealed are swinging wide open. The season of painful waiting has perfectly accomplished its deep work in your soul. Step forward into the glorious light today, because your designated time of weeping has ended, and your season of incredible joy has finally begun. You are the true heir to my greatest promises. Rise as the confident captain of this new and beautiful journey. You no longer have to fight the heavy battles that belong entirely to me. Every tear you sowed in the hidden place has accumulated into a massive tidal wave of grace. Your spiritual authority is fully restored and deeply anchored today. So walk forward with absolute certainty that heaven is aggressively clearing the path ahead of you. Beloved friend, the Lord has spoken powerfully to your spirit today. But to stand firm in this brand new season, a warrior cannot go into battle with an exhausted mind. I am speaking to you now as a fellow believer on this earthly journey. Heaven always provides the spiritual grace, but we must take bold physical action to protect the incredible blessings we have been given. Science has recently uncovered what heaven perfectly designed from the absolute beginning. Brilliant researchers have found that specific acoustic frequencies can instantly quiet the modern noise. They discovered how to restore your brain to its original state of stillness. The legendary flow state is driven entirely by the gamma brainwave, and this is the exact frequency your brain ran effortlessly when you were a young child. The elite have quietly paid thousands of dollars for clinical sessions to access this specific state, but a dedicated team of neuroscientists compressed this entire protocol into a simple audio track. It is called the Genius Song, and it requires only 7 minutes of your day to begin completely rewiring your exhausted mind. You do not have to leave your home or spend hours in silent meditation, because this tool does the heavy lifting for you while you simply rest. Over 18,000 chosen ones have used it to unlock their stalled finances. They have healed broken relationships and stepped into their highest potential. A nurse from California said her daily life now feels completely enchanted. A struggling business owner watched his hardest problems solve themselves while he slept. The gap between you and the blessed is not a lack of willpower, but simply one suppressed brainwave waiting to be awakened. As a gatekeeper of your family, you must actively protect your mental sanctuary. The Genius Song is a spiritual tuning fork designed to perfectly realign your mind. This incredible provision has been placed before you for less than the cost of a humble meal. It is a very small seed sown into your own mental restoration. Do not let the modern world keep your highest genius locked away in the dark, because you were created to operate in absolute clarity. But you must be incredibly vigilant today. Where there is true light, the desperate enemy always sows cheap imitations. Do not look for this specific frequency on platforms like YouTube or Spotify. Those circulating copies are heavily diluted counterfeits designed to keep your powerful gamma wave entirely dormant and suppressed. You can only access the authentic transmission through the highly protected pathway I have personally verified for you. Walk forward in absolute peace, because you are completely covered by a divine guarantee. If this powerful tool does not bring the massive breakthrough promised, your seed will be fully returned. There is absolutely no risk in this step of faith. The universe does not ask you to choose between your deep faith and your financial security, so you can test this frequency without carrying any heavy burdens. Do not let the familiar spirit of delay steal your inheritance for one more day. The spiritual clock is striking, and the door to your new season stands wide open. Heaven has provided the beautiful blueprint, but you must take the physical step of obedience. You will find the secure link pinned in the comments and in the description below. The chosen one who hesitates at the threshold becomes the chosen one who constantly wonders what could have been. 4 powerful bonuses are waiting for you, including a special audio track engineered for your children. You will also receive the original prosperity book that holds ancient secrets of abundance. Click the secure link in the pinned comment right now to completely equip yourself. Step boldly into the crystal clarity heaven has ordained for you today. Your gamma is waiting to be reactivated, and your glorious destiny is finally ready to unfold before your very eyes. Now let every heavy burden slide off your tired shoulders. Let your racing heart settle like still waters after a violent storm. The brutal war you have been fighting is officially over. You do not have to carry your heavy sword anymore. Because heaven has already fought this battle for you, the enemy is entirely defeated, and the spiritual courtroom is permanently closed. I want you to take a very deep breath right now. Let the healing air fill your exhausted lungs. You are completely safe in my eternal presence today. There is absolutely nothing left for you to figure out alone. The intense pressure to perfectly manage your entire life is completely gone. Because I have taken the heavy steering wheel from your bleeding hands, you can finally rest in the passenger seat. Close your tired eyes and just listen to my gentle voice. Feel the warmth of my divine love wrapping tightly around your soul. It is time to surrender your lingering fears to me. You have held on to your deep worries for way too long. Hand me the massive anxiety about your unstable finances. Give me the profound pain of the people who walked away while you were desperately trying to protect your own fragile heart. I was already building an impenetrable fortress around your life. You do not need to build your own walls anymore. I am removing the painful sting of your past memories. The traumatic events that kept you awake at night are losing their power. Because my love has completely cleansed you from the heavy guilt of your past mistakes, they will no longer dictate how you respond to beautiful new opportunities. I do not look at you and see a broken vessel. I look at you and see a brilliantly refined masterpiece of grace. You are the true cycle breaker for your entire bloodline. The generational curses of poverty and depression have officially shattered today. They hit the solid wall of your faith, and they broke into tiny pieces. Your children will never have to fight the terrible demons you defeated. Because you chose to stand firm in the absolute darkest moments, your family will inherit a legacy of total freedom. Step fully into your sacred role as a powerful gatekeeper. You now hold the golden keys to your own peaceful mind. You have the absolute authority to deny entry to any fearful thought. When the shadows try to whisper terrible lies in the dark, you will silence them with the truth of my eternal word. Your mind is a heavily guarded sanctuary where only divine peace is allowed to dwell. When you wake up tomorrow morning, everything will feel different. The crushing weight on your chest will be entirely gone. You will open your eyes and feel a sudden surge of joyful anticipation. The heavy grey clouds of endless depression have been permanently blown away. And as you step out of your bed to start the day, you will feel the solid ground of my promises supporting your feet. You are about to enter a season of effortless spiritual flow. The beautiful synchronicities you missed will return to your daily life. The universe will seamlessly arrange perfect encounters and unexpected financial blessings for you. You will no longer have to bang violently on closed doors. Because heaven is actively working on your behalf right now, the right doors will gently open for you before you even raise your hand to knock. I will walk beside you through every single step of this journey. When you feel a sudden moment of quiet hesitation, I will steady you. If you ever stumble on the unknown path ahead, my strong hands will immediately catch you. While you navigate the loud noise of this chaotic modern world, my spirit dwells deeply within you, and my angels surround your home. You are never wandering alone anymore. Let your heavy heart settle completely in my presence right now. Release your tight grip on the unknown events of tomorrow. Step fully into the living and vibrant current of my eternal grace. I have gone before you to make every crooked path perfectly straight. My divine seal of absolute protection is permanently resting upon your house. You are safe, you are loved, and you are entirely whole. Thank you for receiving this sacred message with an open heart. Know this deep inside your spirit today. You are not merely a random audience member drifting through the internet. You are a chosen heir called to live daily in the powerful presence of the Word. Because your spiritual journey is just beginning to unfold in the most beautiful way, we must stay closely connected in this entirely new season. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel right now. Turn on the notification bell so you will not miss any future instructions. This simple action is a physical sign that you want to maintain your spiritual alignment. It is your daily shield against the loud noise of the chaotic world. Stay deeply rooted in this divine frequency and let my words continually nourish your hungry soul. I leave you with a profound peace that surpasses all human understanding. May the brilliant light of heaven shine endlessly upon your beautiful face. May your diligent hands be incredibly blessed in everything they attempt to do. Walk confidently in your absolute authority until we speak again. I love you with an everlasting love, my precious child. Amen.